With Kevin Owens laying out his full motivation for attacking Cody Rhodes
because I dropped their little golden boy
and Randy Orton, we're on our way towards a Randy Orton-Kevin Owens feud and inevitably a Kevin Owens-Cody Rhodes feud. We're going to talk about that today on Hot Takes because the first hot take is from the Voiceless Writer, although the Voiceless Writer is not alone with this hot take. I saw this pop up several times in the thread. Says Kevin Owens should be the one to end Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship reign. So, first up, let's get this out of the way. A couple videos ago, to a lot of pushback from the friendos out there, I suggested that it should be the final boss take that title off Cody. A lot of people didn't like that one. Oh boy, now a lot of people didn't like that one at all. I do think that Cody's going to have that title for quite a while. I get the feeling, I'll be honest with you guys, I get the feeling that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is playing some negotiation games with the WWE because he shows up at Bad Blood, he does his little thing, his little shtick there, and then all of a sudden it comes out through the Wrestling Observer. No doubt in my mind, I honestly believe this. Dwayne's people got in contact with Dave Meltzer and said Dwayne has told the WWE that he's not going to be there. Then Dwayne got on social media and said, don't listen to this bullshit. I kind of feel like that's how most of that kind of wrestler dirt sheet relationship thing goes down. I don't know because no wrestlers ever contact me. Let me check my DMs again. Yeah, no, nobody ever contacts me about that stuff. But that's how I just kind of feel like it goes down. They sort of use the dirt sheets to get stuff out there, and then they use that for negotiations and whatnot. I kind of feel like that's what Dwayne is doing right now. So I don't know. I think that Dwayne is angling to get that title off Cody. But maybe it shouldn't happen. Maybe it should be Kevin Owens, who is undergoing a very organic heel turn right now. He attacked Randy Orton for apparently trying to talk to him. And now Randy Orton wants a piece of Kevin Owens. It seems like that's probably going to be the match that goes down at Crown Jewel because Randy Orton now has got to talk to Triple H about getting him a match with Kevin Owens, even though Kevin Owens is like technically in the universe, in the storyline, suspended. And he's shooting these like little homemade videos that they aired on TV last night and they're airing on social media. So it's kind of a cool situation for Kevin. I've always felt that Kevin Owens is much better as a bad guy anyways, because as a good guy, he just seems uncomfortable. And I think that's a very purposeful kind of presentation on behalf of the performer behind Kevin Owens. And I think it's a good one. And when he's a bad guy, it just feels like, hey, he's fully complete. He is completely himself as a bad guy. That's just sort of how he's always been. I've always really liked Kevin Owens as a bad guy, and I think he'd be a good foil for Cody Rhodes. And I would pop big, huge, if Kevin Owens was the guy to end Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship reign. I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're doing a thing with Cody where they're trying to prove that he's the guy. I do think that he's probably going to end up beating Gunther. I'm sorry, he's going to lose to Gunther because of Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel. They'll do the Kevin Owens match at Crown Jewel, and because he's in town, he'll be there to like wonk the finish to that match, a distraction or whatever, pop-up powerbomb while Giovanni Vinci or Ludwig Kaiser distracts the ref, and Gunther will win, but it'll be kind of tainted. I think that's the only way they can. I don't see this going down to a clean finish, because if it's clean finish, Cody Rhodes is going to win, and they got to be careful. They honestly have to be careful about making Cody too Super Cena powered up. But maybe they will. Maybe they'll do a clean finish, and then Gunther will just have to go back to Raw and be like, well, I could not get the job done. I don't know. In any event, yeah, I think it'd be a great story. I think that Cody needs to take time away from all that bloodline business, and losing to Kevin Owens, I think, would be awesome. I just don't know that they're going to do it. I feel like, let me put it this way. I feel like, and whether you like it or not, I think this is this is my bet on what's going to happen. Cody Rhodes is going to beat Roman Reigns in a rematch clean before he loses his title to anybody. That's how I feel like they're going with Cody Rhodes. You have to remember, as much as I love this idea from a storyline perspective, Cody Rhodes is big business for the WWE. He sells tons of merch. They might not want to rock that boat. Now, obviously, keeping their business interests above what would be best for the story doesn't make for the most compelling story for Cody Rhodes, but If there was some way they could have him retain the title or keep the title while telling a really interesting story that keeps the drama and tension going, then great, go ahead and do that. But so much of his reign right now feels like we're just heading into WrestleMania season. I know that's still 6 months away, but it feels like we're getting to WrestleMania season sooner and sooner, especially with The Rock showing up. But no, it would be nice to mix it up. Number one, I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan because I think he got royally screwed. Him and Jericho had that great festival of friendship angle that they did, and then they had to like fight over the U.S. title. They should have had the Mania main event with the Universal title, but that didn't happen. Sir Hobo92 says, Lucha Underground has been the best promotion in the last 20 years worldwide. There should be more wrestling companies that work like a TV show with episodes, season finales for the cliffhangers, and et cetera, et cetera. He goes on. You know, man, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Lucha Underground. Everybody is always like, oh man, this is great. This is great. I need to watch the entire run. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I got to do that. Suit Dumpling says, hearing the words TV viewership and TV deals are the most annoying part of wrestling news. And Alexander here says, from the bottom of my heart, I am sick and goddamn tired of hearing about, oh, WWE did these numbers, viewership / ratings wise. Look at how sad this company is. Shut the heck up about it. And he continues on. I'm with you on that one, to be honest with you. To me, I always think that ratings are an interesting indicator as to what kind of fan interest there is in the product. To me, it was interesting that NXT's ratings the first 2 weeks did comparable numbers. They did almost 900,000 total viewers, and then it dropped significantly. It dropped like 30% on week 3, as opposed to seeing any sort of fall off week 2. And I'm kind of curious, like, I guess those main roster top level stars, CM Punk obviously and Randy Orton, are kind of a big deal. Now let's see, will being on the CW help their numbers at all, given that theoretically it's in a larger amount of households? Although for me personally, I can't stand it because I can't watch. There's like no way for me to watch the East Coast feed of the CW, which just sucks. It's a weird network like that. And AEW is just sort of hang around where it is week to week. I care like 5% about that stuff because I do think it's an interesting indicator. Once the AEW and WWE diehards, like the real toxic diehards, start like bizarrely weaponizing the ratings against the fan base, then it just gets stupid. Then it just gets completely lost. Like, people make these Photoshop graphics of like the giant number 633,000. Who gives a fuck? Who gives an absolute fuck what AEW's ratings are? Now, if AEW eventually gets canceled, you can be able to track, okay, well, this is what happened here, and they probably want to improve their business standpoint with the ratings and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I don't know, like, it's interesting in a very, very small manner. In a thing that it's like, oh, well, I never ever think about the Raw and SmackDown ratings anymore. I'll see them because I follow WrestleNomics on Twitter. It's like, oh, okay, cool. They did about 1.7 million. Right on. And then I scroll on and it's like, whatever. Doesn't matter. What matters is the quality of the show. I think actually SmackDown was good this past week. I think Raw was an improvement this week. And I think that, and on top of that, it was taped. So like I wasn't expecting much anyways. And I expect Raw to be a bit better next week. Come January, if SmackDown keeps the trajectory creatively that it's on right now, and if Raw continues once it goes back to 3 hours, if it's able to regain that momentum that it had when it was at 3 hours, and if AEW is able to fix a couple of things, I like this Mox World Order storyline. I think it's pretty good. I think there was some interesting stuff they set up this week on Dynamite. I'm interested to see Bobby Lashley come in. I think that's pretty cool, the MVP stuff. I like what they've been doing with their women's division. I could use more of it. Same with WWE. WWE is not, they have their issues as well. So creatively speaking, that's what I care about. But like some of these Twitter social media accounts, which I'll probably be leaving Twitter soon anyways, because the whole block function situation is weird. But yeah, it makes the discourse nearly unbearable. who gives a living fuck what the ratings are beyond just the smallest amount of interest? Like, oh, wow, that's kind of interesting. It's such a footnote. Ratings information is such a footnote in pro wrestling. And people will sit there and make whole Photoshop graphics. AEW only got 633, you big dummies. All right. So fucking what? Anyways, I feel you guys. Christian01 says WWE needs to let Cena break the record, even if it means him holding the title for like a week or a month or somebody cashes in on him. Ooh, cashed it in on Cena's last title run. That's interesting. Oh, what if Cena did the Bryan Danielson thing? What if or the Mickey James thing, the last rodeo, where he's like, "Hey, as soon as I lose this, that's my retirement match. I am done forever." And somebody cashes in on him. Dom Mysterio cashes in on him. Oh my god. Oh, that'd be horrible. I don't even know if I like that idea. Yeah, dude, I agree with this though. Christian, I agree with this. Let Cena break the record. Chased Crown says Uncle Howdy should win the WWE title at least once. I think that they're going to take the super slow road with Bo Dallas and the Uncle Howdy stuff. A couple of you I've seen in these hot takes have claimed that you think that the Uncle Howdy Wyatt Six stuff is already run out of steam. I disagree. I think that they use them in bursts and then they take them away and then they use them again and they take them away, use them again. It's not quite as involved of a storyline that as I would like it to have been. I thought that they had some real promise with those video vignettes with Bo Dallas. And I feel like they dialed it back after, obviously they have dialed it back after the American Alpha stuff or the Chad Gable stuff anyways, Chad Gable stuff. What's his new group called? What is it? American Made. That's what it is. So yeah, I feel like they've dialed it back. I'd like more of it, to be honest with you. I'd like them to explore this idea of Bo Dallas dealing with his grief through putting on the mask and having his support system with him. I think there's a lot you can do there. And if they eventually get a bit more ambitious with it, then 1,000%, I think it'd be an amazing story if he were to win one of the WWE titles. It's just the pace that they're going right now. That's not going to happen until like 2034. You gotta, get this stuff moving, man. YYHJ says, I'm an AEW guy, but The Miz and Corbin are genuine draws for me to watch the WWE product. Hey, that's great. That's awesome. I love Baron Corbin, to be honest with you. I appreciate The Miz. But I love Baron Corbin. I wish they'd use that guy more. I'll be honest with you guys. I think Baron Corbin has been one of the best all around. Man, I was watching 2015, some takeover. It was the debut Kevin Owens takeover, whatever it was called. Re-arrival, retake. I don't know what it was. And Baron Corbin was on there. He had like the long hair and he was doing kind of like the metal gimmick thing. Man, he was so cool, and he would beat people in like 30 seconds. He was so damn cool. He took on Sean Spears, I think, and beat him really quickly. Yeah, man. I think Baron Corbin, Vince really screwed up with him. He really did. And now he's kind of booked into the ground. Like, how can you dig out of that? How do you get him out of that? AJ Daniels 99 says TNA is more influential for the women's revolution in America, but doesn't get the credit they deserve. You got to ask yourself, did Triple H, was he paying attention to the TNA Knockouts division, what Jeff Jarrett was doing over there? Because it does seem like after they really established that, hey, women's wrestling could be a draw, that NXT stuff with the women's division really started picking up. I wonder, you got to ask yourself. All right, we'll end on this one. Matic Marvel says, Vince being the higher power was the right call. I couldn't disagree with you more on this. As much as I'm not a Kane guy anymore, I kind of feel like Kane as the higher power could have been awesome. Could you imagine what a great way to get Kane to be, people talk about the rub, right? Like older wrestlers putting younger wrestlers over to carry that torch that they had. Do you imagine if they were to elevate Kane by making him the higher power? It's revealed somehow, some way that the younger brother, the Undertaker, was the more powerful version of the Undertaker. He was the next evolution of the Undertaker, and therefore he would then beat the Undertaker at whatever the next pay-per-view was, or Undertaker ends up. I don't know what the story would have been. They could have told something really cool. And instead of being red and black, they could have had Kane be silver and black. How cool would that be? Or like some sort of gunmetal, like a pewter, something with texture on it. That'd have been cool. Instead we got Vince, which I sort of saw coming from a mile away. I remember watching that and being like, it's going to be Vince, isn't it? this is going to be stupid. And they're probably going to do something stupid, like putting together this supernatural entity, this supernatural faction with this, like, you know, human resources department, the corporation. And then they did that, and they called them the corporate ministry. How stupid was that? Loaded ass faction, though.